Hey guys, it's Saturday, December 11th, and also, in case you guys were wondering, Exit comes home tomorrow. Here's the thing today, I'm going to talk to you about stuff that I think actually matters, which is exciting because usually I just talk about stuff that doesn't matter that much, but today I actually want to talk about something that matters, and that's, I was watching Fiveawesomeguys videos, and they were talking about like internet friends and like real life friends and everything like that, and it just reminded me a lot of my philosophy class. There's a class called Philosophy and Human Nature. So most of the philosophers that we talked about were just like trying to find out what makes us human, where do we get our humanity from, and a lot of them just hate technology. Some of them don't necessarily hate technology, but they, like, just don't approve of it, and especially when we were talking about John Susan. He just didn't believe in technology at all, and he thought that technology was our downfall, and that it hindered all of our progress as humans, and we can't live happy lives, like, with technology. Which I was always pretty against, and people would talk about it and be like, oh yeah, like, trying to impress the teacher and be like, oh yeah, I think that's totally legit, like, I hate having technology, like, none of my Facebook friends are my actual friends, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And then I would, devil's advocate that I am, would raise my hand and be like, I kinda like technology, like, I'm a big fan of technology, and especially, Freud had this idea where he was like, well, like, yeah, you have a telephone so you can call, you know, your sister that you miss so much, your friend that you miss so much, whatever, but if you hadn't, like, if it wasn't for technology, they wouldn't be that far away from you. And when we talked about that, I thought about Exa, and the fact that, like, my best friend goes to school in Switzerland, and it's just, like, they're far away from me, but it's so, the way that I said it in class, I was like, it's the coolest thing that she gets to go to school in Switzerland. Like, that's awesome that she's getting that opportunity. And I don't know, I thought it was interesting. But while I was watching the videos, so just kind of to get back to the Fiveawesomeguys video, they were, I don't know, I thought it was interesting because they didn't know each other without the internet. And I don't know how I feel about that. And I mean, clearly, I spend all my time on, like, YouTube and whatever, and, like, I watch things like Fiveawesomeguys. I watch Alex Day so much and, like, am madly in love with him and everything. Like, I'm such a fangirl for these boys on the internet. But, like, I would never think that I knew them in real life. And I think that a lot of people think differently than I do about that. I feel like I'm still kind of in the internet murderer stage of my life. I mean, I remember being in middle school and that being such a big deal, that I had a friend who played RuneScape, and, like, her and her brothers played it all the time, and she had all of these people that she was friends with through the internet, and that always scared me so much, because I was like, you don't know who these people are, and in some cases, I mean, we talked to a kid, and we would, like, talk to him online all the time, and he had sent her a picture, so she was like, oh yeah, like, this is great, and I was like, that looks like a pretty generic picture, like, I bet if we googled cool skater kid, we could find that picture, and we did, and it was the first picture that came up. So, it's things like that are just, like, that kind of get to me, and I guess it's not really the same with YouTube, because you know that these people that we have this community, I mean, especially in the Nerdfighter community, you know that they're real people. You know that, like, you can see them on a screen, and, like, you know that John Green is a real person because he writes books, and you can be in love with his books, and, you know that Charlie and Alex and Ed and Tom are all real because you can see their music, and you can, you know, appreciate them for more facets than just their internet lives. But it still kind of weirds me out. Like, I wouldn't consider these people real friends. And I always, like, I mean, I always get really self-conscious when I, like, go to comment on one of their videos, or like if I want to say something in one of their videos, I'm like, how do I talk about that? Like, how am I supposed to address you? I don't know you in real life. I feel weird being like, leaving Alex Day a comment and being like, hey Alex, like, I don't know him in real life, and I feel like that's really weird. But a lot of people don't have that problem, and I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but I'd like comments and video responses if you guys want to just tell me what you think about it, because I find it really interesting, just because I can't do that. But then again, I mean, on another hand, I think I've already used two hands, but on some other hand, there are people that, like, I've gotten to know a lot better through the internet, like, that I wouldn't ordinarily have hung out with in real life. Like, for instance, since we're doing this right here, Callie, Marley, and Bob, I didn't know them without the internet. I mean, I knew them, of course, because we went to high school together, and I knew, like, who you were, and we all did shows, and, like, I knew you, and we were friendly. I never had anything against you, and vice versa, but I wouldn't have actually known you. I mean, Bob, I wouldn't know you without having read your Facebook surveys and us commenting back and forth through that. And the same with Marley and Callie. I got to know you two so much better through your vlog project that you do, and I'm so glad that that happened, because I love that I'm friends with you. But I don't know, I think that the internet does provide a lot by terms of that. Like, you can meet all of these people that you wouldn't maybe ordinarily have just walked up to and been like, hey, want to be friends? And it's a lot easier to make friends with people that you kind of know on the internet, but I don't really know how I feel about making friends with people that I don't know at all on the internet. And I don't know, I think it's a really interesting topic, so I'd like you guys, if you feel like it, to leave me a comment or a video response, or even if you want to, like, talk more in depth about it, leave me a Facebook message or something, and we'll discuss it there, because I think that it's really, really interesting. This video is really long, and I apologize for that. I just want to throw in two more quick things. Quick thing number one, I don't feel bad about not knowing about Pokemon anymore, because Johnny doesn't know about Pokemon either, so the winner is me. Quick thing number two, I think it's really funny that they all talk about how much, like, all of these English boys that we watch on the internet are always talking about how much they want to come to New York, because I feel like I watched them say, they each said that so many times, like, oh, I want to go to New York, I want to go to New York, whatever, and I was just like, really? Like, I live in New York. I mean, obviously, they wouldn't come to this part of New York, but, like, they'd go to the city, but, like, I don't think that I've ever lived, other than when I lived at Rowan last year, I've never lived more than an hour away from the city. I could go to the city whenever I want, and I don't. I just think it's really funny that they're all like, oh, I want to go to New York, I love New York so much, I want to live in New York for a while, and we're just like, we don't appreciate New York. And we all look at them and we're like, I want to go to London and meet you, or, like, you know, whatever. I just think it's funny that they all want to come to New York, and I think that they should all come to New York, but they should come to, like, this part. I think that we should bring them up to Connecticut so that they can see how great other places are. Like, I'd love to take them on a tour of, like, not New York City, New York / Connecticut, because I think that they'd enjoy it. So, anyway, I'm sorry that this video was long. If you watched the whole thing, congratulations to you. You know I love you a lot, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or something.